The southwest forest region is Camp Adams and the Camp Adams Lookout. I'm going to put them together because there's not really much to go on for just one of them. So make our way up the trail. See some firecracker berries. If you step on them, they do hurt you for like 1 damage. It's not a lot. Here is the lookout. We'll go ahead and start here. Why am I crouched? This one has a wooden crate instead of an explosive barrel. Wait, hold on. Where's the explosives? Oh, is this going to be the only one that doesn't have an explosives crate because it's next to a camp for children? Huh. It does have a makeshift battery, so it's the third one we've been to with a makeshift battery. That's odd. Every other one I've gone to has had explosives at it. There is a scavenger spawn here. It still has an ammo box, though. First aid kit. And glitchy textures, like all the other ones I've been to.
Even after the bombs, Appalachia is still beautiful. Sore all over. Building this place up is hard work.
It has an air sensor, and the scavenger's wearing a dunce cap.
I'm trying to find the right place to settle down.
They are not an interactive settler this time around. Give me one sec while I pull up the Camp Adams Lookout page. Though I highly doubt it will tell me the locations it adds. Oh, this one does! I don't know why some of them do and some of them don't. So this one adds Camp Adams, which you'll probably get automatically just from reaching this point. It adds Billings Homestead and Silva Homestead. It adds North Kanawha Cemetery, because that did exist before. Ohio Adventures, Lewis and Sons Farming Supply, the Kanawha Nuka-Cola plant, Poseidon Energy plant. I don't know if it adds the yard. Probably does, because it's close enough. Giant Teapot. It does not list any of these ones here, but it adds the landfill and the train station and the station. So now let's go ahead and head on down to Camp Adams itself. We did not see any explosives up there. There's a little picnic table here, though. It'll probably just be easier to just... At all of them? No. Camp Adams plays into the Pioneer Scouts quests that were added with Wild Appalachia. Ever Upwards. And there's a series of quests that I'm probably going to struggle with doing because they require other players for some of them. And I don't really game with other players. Because I started them and then I realized, oh yeah, some of their things require other players, and then I put it off. There are the challenges down here under World. Yeah, your possum badges, which I have completed them all before. And then they have a single event that has 3 options that comes from Scout Leader Penny, and I've already done that. I think I've done all 3. Hold on, we gotta mute up Modus. Give me a sec. So there's some lockers here with a purified water inside of a cooler. Tool case, more lockers. Just a bunch of garbage. Oh, and a tadpole vending machine to spend your little codes on. I only cared about the plans. I don't need to buy the outfit or a hat. Well, that's just ever upwards. Then out the other one is the possum. The possum vending machine. I have not finished buying all of them because I don't really care about any of these other backpack mods. The one that gives extra carrying weight is the only one that matters to me. And then I didn't get the stash box. Because getting these Pioneer badges is kind of annoying because it's not a... They don't guarantee you any. So you just have to do the quests for her or the other Pioneer Scouts and hope it gives you some tokens. And I don't really care much for farming, so I haven't bothered with it. So this is the bathroom. Nothing in here. There's going to be like a lot of nothing because it only ties into the events that happen here. Some boxes. That's about it. Oh yeah, and it spawns mongrels as the default enemy. Other enemies happen during the events themselves. Alright, there's a bear trash can. You can get a ranger hat here, of course. Armor's workbench. A footlocker. And Pioneer book meal prep. We'll go ahead and read it. Oh gosh, it's a lot. Oh, am I going to read this? I guess I'm going to read this. Pioneer Scouts of America Handbook. Meal preparation. There are a couple of key components when you're cooking at a small camp or a large-scale jamboree. It can be challenging to keep a restaurant level of sanitary conditions, but a few guidelines should be followed. Number 1. Cleaning. Make sure you clean all of your pots and pans before and after cooking a meal. For the scouts you are serving, have an easy way to make sure they clean their dishes. Use the 3-bucket system. A bucket of water to do an initial rinse and scrape food off, a bucket of soapy water to combat bacteria, and a final bucket to rinse off clean plates. God, the music's just getting super intense, and all I'm doing is reading a note about cooking. Number 2, health. Make sure you have calorically dense meals with a good macronutrient distribution. 40% carbs, 30% good fats, and 30% protein. Avoid prepackaged meals like MREs and try to make your own meals from base sources if possible. Number 3, scavenging. Part of Pioneer Scouting is learning what in the environment is edible and what isn't. Living off the land. If you're not sure, don't eat it. Consult with your group leader or another scout who has earned the scavenging badge. Well, I've earned all the badges. Yeah. Number 4? Yes. On the trail. Before you leave, make sure you've prepared enough food for twice as long as you intend to be on the trail, and that everyone you're traveling with is appropriately kitted out. Easily accessible snacks of nuts and dried fruit, as well as easy-to-consume meals like sandwiches, are a staple. Number 5. Be creative. Share your ideas with other scouts and brainstorm new ways to eat. Carry a small pack of spices like cumin, cinnamon, salt, and pepper. A little variety and flavor in a hot meal can raise morale in an instant. And then here's the cooking station. A suitcase, a duffel bag, and that's that. There's the final cabin. Got a little bear outside. This is the exam cabin. So we've got a first aid kit. There's one of the buckets. A second first aid kit. An end of dungeon trunk. Lake adventures. Some boxes. Here's the terminal. I'm not going to go over this terminal because it's purely just exam stuff. Oh, well, there's a join the Pioneer Scouts. Want to be a Pioneer Scout? We're always happy to bring new pioneers into the fold. First step is learning to swim as a tadpole. Learn about archery, cooking, first aid, and more. Please take all inquiries to your local Pioneer Scout leader. So this is just where you take all the quizzes. Each scout badge requires you to take and pass a quiz that will choose 5 questions from a random pool of 30 questions. And you kind of just go with that. There's the lunch pail. There's the spices we were told to have. So canned dog food, a knife, lid to a jar, randomized ammo, and a radio. 10 ways to be an archer. Which I will go over that when we do the archery thing. When I do get around to actually making the Pioneer Scouts video itself, we'll go over that. There's a wheelbarrow. Penny's still here talking. So we've got a skeleton here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Some binoculars. A randomized recipe we'll grab for some new players. And a serrated Bowie knife.
Here never ceases to amaze. Admire it while you're young, kiddos. One day, you'll wake up with rusty sensors, and it's all downhill from there.
So I think it was a glitch, but the first time I ever came here, it had a not the first time I ever came here, but one of the times I came here, it had a skin on this knife. It was the Pioneer Scouts skin.
Who remembers the Pioneer Scout motto? Say it with me.
And I took it. But this will always be a serrated Bowie knife right here. So I don't know if it sometimes spawns with a skin or if it was just, kind of glitched out. But I mean, hey, free skinned knife.
Welcome. I just love meeting new
And she can't talk to you outside of the event, so we'll ignore her. There's a bell. We'll ignore that bell. There's for some reason a crab catcher. I'm assuming they use it for rabbits and other varmints. Another cooking station. A water pump. A sign that says campground. Where we then have some more firecracker berries. A radstag doe. So this is a radstag. This is not a deer. Which is a bit odd. Because it's supposed to be a deer to show demonstration, to show the children how they're gutting animals. That seems like a slight issue. Is there not? Thought there was a note there, but I guess not. Here's a destroyed cabin, I'm assuming. And then here's a tent. It is the only tent here. It has 2 sleeping bags. They're sleeping on hard wood instead of on the hard ground. And here's another note. Pioneer book camping. Pioneer Scouts of America Handbook. Camping. Primary considerations when planning a campsite. Number 1, the weather. This will determine the amount and type of gear you need. Be prepared for typical kinds of inclement weather, including high winds and rain. Print and laminate a detailed 10-day weather report as close to leaving as possible. Make sure your sleeping bags, jackets, and underwear are all rated for the climate. Be sure to have appropriate layers. Number 2, tents. Choose an appropriate tent for the location and duration of your stay, and the number of people that are going to be there. Camping in tents assumes a close fit, so make sure you're buddied up with someone you're comfortable with. Generally, you can use a 3-season tent, but if you're planning on camping in the snow or at altitude, you may need to bring a 4-season tent. Don't forget a repair kit. Assuming that says it's a $, $8 can save you from a miserable night of rain. at night if rain seeps in through a hole. Was I supposed to say sitting? That's spelled wrong. Number 3, sitting. Make sure you choose an appropriate site. Oh, sighting. Sighting. If you can, pitch your tents on wooden frames to get off the ground. That's not possible. Look for a durable surface like rock, bare ground, or gravel. Camp at least 200 feet from water, and make sure you aren't downstream to avoid flooding. Look for a well-shaded area. Not a well. Look for a well-shaded area to reduce temperature fluctuations. And don't forget to look up. Pitching your tent under a dead tree or under a dead tree branch or near a rock slide can result in potential disaster. Number 4, waste management. Make sure you have bags to pack out human waste, toilet paper, and other sanitary materials. And that's it for Camp Adams and the Camp Adams Lookout Tower. I think there was like a unmarked location nearby, though. That I kind of want to go to. Well, there's another settler with a dunce cap. There it is. It's a campsite. Unmarked location campsite. It is a critter spawn. We got opossums and a raider spawned here. So there's...
Take a seat, kick your feet up, and reminisce about all them good times.
What are you doing? So there's a cooler here, a Nuka-Cola bottle that's empty, skeleton holding himself a bottle. Hooch. I hear someone walking in power armor. There's a pile of wood, another cooking station. There's like a pile of dirt instead of a fire underneath, which is a bit odd. Oh, that's what it is. It's digging possums. There's a tiny little tent. And a playable acoustic guitar.
If you ain't willing to take a bullet, then you should take your ass to Foundation.
I don't care much for raiders. And then a camera. They were probably killed by the Flatwoods Monster. That's it for Camp Adams. Said that was it for Camp Adams, and then when I was walking back towards Camp Adams, I noticed this. I missed this. There's a bunch of wood piles here. Someone was reading a Charleston Herald while eating some kind of canned food next to this. Like, why is there just a... Why is this bathroom not covered? Okay. There's only one more of these that I can remember, and it's at a different Pioneer Scouts one. And I don't even know exactly what it is. There's a horn up here to signal to the kids. Like, that's kind of it. I still decide to include it, because I find it odd that this children's only bathroom is not covered up. Oh, I guess it's not their only bathroom, right? Didn't they have another one? And then we didn't go in here, which is just nothing but empty cabinets. Huh. So this is probably where the adults stayed. Now that's officially it for their bathrooms in here. No, this is just showers. So yeah, that was their only place to go to the restroom. So now that's it for Camp Adams.